Well, I can't believe it. You probably can't believe it either. But the year is almost over. We're going to have our last meeting of the month this coming Tuesday, December 2nd at 7. And we're going to have some cookies, we're going to have some hot chocolate, and we're going to watch a Civil War documentary and talk about how 2025 went and discuss what we're going to be doing in 2026. So come out, even if you've never been to a meeting yet, come on out for this one. Nice way to get to know people. There won't be any presentations, just some good fellowship. 7 o'clock at the Catherine Lindeman Library this coming Tuesday. On December 7th, which is a week from Sunday, we are going to go to Louisiana and tour a pre-Civil War home. And the tour will start at 1 o'clock. And we'll carpool, leaving at 11:30 for the commuter lot in St. Peter's. And if you plan on driving separately, please be there at 12:45. And then afterwards, we'll stop off in Ellsbury for late lunch, early supper. So thanks to Patricia and Grant Clark for setting that up for us. We have a 2026 agenda, and we'll talk about that in a second, but we can always change it. If you have a presentation you want to give, please feel free, reach out to us. Let us know about that. We're also going to add a work day in there to move headstones at Peru Creek Fort. And I want to talk about Peru Creek Fort here for a little bit. It's a very important Civil War site in St. Charles. It was a fort that guarded the railroad bridge over Darden Creek. I think it's Darden Creek. No, maybe not Darden Creek. It's a creek that today flows out of Lake St. Louis. So the creek's still there, the fort is not. There is a cemetery there because that was also the mustering in point for a lot of pro-Union Missouri militia. People would be there, they would die primarily of disease, and they would be buried there. Well, the headstones are there. They need to be cleaned up and put back in place. So we're going to take it upon ourselves to do that, and you're welcome to come out for that too. We have our own webpage, cwrtscc.org, and so I'd love to have you check that out. In January, we're going to open our campaign to look at the Missouri State Guard, which was a pro-Confederate organization that was involved in the Camp Jackson affair. Here's a couple of sister organizations of ours. So Civil War Roundtable of St. Louis has some meetings that they do at lunchtime. And so the next one is Thursday, December 18th. So you do need to RSVP for that so they know how many are coming. There's also a website here, cwrtcongress.org, for other Civil War Roundtable organizations across the country. Here's our tentative campaign. We talked about January already. In February, I'll be giving a presentation on John A. Logan of Illinois, who's from Southern Illinois, pretty close to us here. In March, Jim Irwin's coming back to talk about Julia and Ulysses S. Grant. We're going to hopefully do our Wilson Creek and Battle of Springfield trip in March, 28th and 29th. And then April, Tom Rafner is going to come talk about General Orders number 11. Doug in May is going to talk about the end of the Civil War. We're going to have an outing on May 9th, and we're going to fire some Civil War weapons. Doug's going to talk about the Prairie Grove campaign on June 2nd. Now, I'm interested in that because that ties into the Joe Shelby raid I just talked about last month. And so I said then, Prairie Grove deserves its own presentation. So I'm excited to see that. In July, Lane Chartrand is going to come back, talk about the Civil War Confederate soldier. August 4th, Doug's going to talk about the Civil War in northern Missouri. September and October, a two-parter on Vicksburg. October 17th, we'll have another outing, tour of Jefferson Barracks and the Missouri Civil War Museum. In November, I'll be back to talk about the Battle of Perryville. And then in December, once again, we're going to do cookies and hot chocolate and a documentary. So we haven't decided when our work day is to move the headstones at Peru Creek Fort. But as soon as that is decided, I hopefully will have that, or it'll be incorporated into our newsletter. Here's how you get a hold of us. So you can email Doug or call him. There's our Facebook page and, again, our website. And so we'd like to thank you for watching. Hope to see everybody this coming Tuesday.